And we are back with the third segment of the GSMC basketball podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. I apologize for that longer than normal wait. I needed to get a drink. I was incredibly parched, but other than that, let's go right ahead and get into the third segment where we're going to talk about more Cavs drama because, I mean, the drama around the Cavs this so far in the offseason, I mean, the playoffs aren't even over. And there's already drama brewing all over Cleveland. I don't think I've talked about Cleveland this much since LeBron was on Cleveland. And that feels like a very, very long time ago. To me, at least. So, where do I even begin? All right, so the Cleveland Cavaliers, they recently fired their coach, and again, this is crazy to me because it's like, well, not really crazy, I should say. The head coach for Cleveland, he wasn't really all that. His record in the regular season and his tenure on the Cavs was 170 to 159, and he was 6-11 in the postseason with the Cavs. So, not really obviously he has a negative record in the postseason, but his regular season record is somewhat mid. Like, it's not really outstanding, if that makes sense. And one of the biggest headlines that I saw, and then I'm looking at an article right now, is that Donovan Mitchell, and according to an NBA insider, several NBA insiders, Joe Vardon, Shams Charania, and Jason Lloyd of the Athletic, they are saying that Donovan Mitchell didn't have great confidence in JB Bickerstaff as the Cleveland Cavs coach for the future. And it's like, when your star player has a problem with the head coach and doesn't really believe in him, obviously that is a big problem. Like, that is a very, very big problem for the organization, and I'm very surprised with how quickly they responded to the problem. I mean, they realized they realized that, okay, Donovan Mitchell doesn't like him, let's get rid of him. So, from the way I see it, it would seem like with this move, that the Cavs are going to be leaning on trying to sign Donovan Mitchell and getting rid of Darius Garland. I mean, but that's just my speculation. So I'm just looking at a quote from Vardon. Like, this is what they wrote. Though Cleveland improved under Bickerstaff, his team scuffled after the All-Star break in each of the last 3 seasons. Also, and perhaps most importantly, Cavs star Donovan Mitchell, among other players, did not have great confidence in Bickerstaff as a coach for the future. Numerous league sources have said for most of the season. So, the big question for me is, who could those other players be? I mean, because if the other players is reference to Darius Garland, then maybe my statement is just completely null and void. Like, maybe he really is a bad coach and he doesn't have any faith in clearly, if Donovan Mitchell doesn't like him and there's multiple players that don't really have much confidence in him as a coach, then it makes total sense to get rid of him. But my biggest, the big theory that I have in my head is that they're definitely going to try and pursue Donovan Mitchell over Darius Garland. And the reason why is because, Donovan Mitchell, obviously being the star player on the team, is not a fan of their head coach. And so the Cavs respond to that by firing the head coach. Meaning they're sort of trying to cater to Donovan Mitchell the best way that they can to ensure that he stays on the roster and to ensure that he decides to sign the extension with Cleveland. So that's the way I see it. However, if this is not just a Donovan Mitchell problem, but it's a whole team problem and everyone doesn't really like him, then that just might make my statement null and void. Because if everyone is agreeing that they don't really have confidence with him being the coach, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't the Cavs fire him? Like, why wouldn't they fire him? That's my thinking behind it, and doesn't really seem like there's enough evidence to conclude exactly what the Cavs are going to try to do with, Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland within the offseason. We'll see. So the Cavaliers president, Kobe Altman, admonished Bickerstaff in front of his entire staff for playing Mitchell heavy minutes against the Houston Rockets in December 18th, or on December 18th, per The Athletic. This is what The Athletic is saying. And in his second season in Cleveland, Mitchell averaged 26 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, while shooting 46% from the field and 36% from 3, along with 86% from the free throw line. And the Cavs, they had a pretty good record, 48-34. And they also defeated the Orlando Magic, like I mentioned previously. So it's not like he didn't do anything for the organization. It's just he didn't really do enough. And they lost to the Celtics in the second round after 5 games. And Mitchell, who turns 28 in December, he missed Game 4 and Game 5 due to a left hamstring injury, which is going to also play into a factor, like what happens in the offseason. I mean, will the Cavs allow Mitchell to sort of rest that hamstring and get better? I mean, we have no idea how long it's going to take for him to recover from that, and it shouldn't take that long. But depending on how he returns back from his injury, we'll have to see. He's also known for scoring a career high 71 points last season, so I really wouldn't be surprised if they try to just get him back. It would make total sense to me, and being one of the top scorers in the NBA, again, just makes sense to pick him over somebody like Darius Garland. And I'm very surprised that Darius Garland even feels like he has a chance to combat against Donovan Mitchell. Like, he should just request a trade right now. Now, let's see. If he chooses not to sign the extension with the Cavs, then the thought is that Cleveland is going to look to trade him before free agency in the summer of 2025. So if Mitchell becomes a free agent, he's eligible to sign a max of 5 years and $269.9 million with the team that holds his rights, the Cleveland Cavaliers right now, or 4 years for $200.1 million with a new team. So those are the the opportunities that he has. So he's now going to have to weigh his options and to decide exactly what team he's going to want to be a part of. And I don't really see him not signing that extension. But then again, if the Cavs, if they get sort of worse in the offseason, I wouldn't really be surprised if that's the angle that they go about it. And I mean, again, I just genuinely wouldn't really be that surprised at the angle that they go about it, just because of where he stands and how good of a player that he is. They have to pursue him. They have to, because if they don't pursue him, then a team like let's see here, just one second. I do have a list of these. I mean, several teams could have a very good chance of trying to get him, like the Miami Heat or the Lakers. They could 100% try and get Donovan Mitchell. I mean, for the Lakers, it seems less of a possibility simply because, a more realistic option for the Lakers would be Trae Young, and as opposed to Donovan Mitchell. And the Miami Heat, I have a feeling the Miami Heat with Donovan Mitchell, that would be a very spectacular show to watch. You'll have Jimmy Butler as well as Donovan Mitchell, a scoring option along with a two-way option, along with Bam Adebayo as well. That sounds like a very dangerous combination. And what would make it even more ironic is because, remember how LeBron decided to take his talents to South Beach after losing to the Boston Celtics? Donovan Mitchell could do the exact same thing. It would be the craziest parallel in the history of basketball. It would be so funny to me And what would be even funnier is if he announces, like, literally word for word, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat. Like how LeBron did, announcing his decision on that infamous day that Cavs fans reap and rule and cannot stand. So that's really all I have for this, for the drama. I'm sure the drama is far from over with the Cavs, so expect me to talk about them a little bit later. So in this next segment, in the fourth segment, we're going to talk about Luka Doncic and the possibility of him signing a ridiculous contract with the Dallas Mavericks after making the All-NBA first team, again, for I believe it is the 5th time. So I will be right back after this short break, and be sure to stay tuned.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.